Good evening. My name is Era Jackson Sams, and I am a first grade teacher at the Dudley Street Neighborhood Charter School, which we affectionately call the Dudley Street School. The Dudley Street Neighborhood Charter School is the newest school to join the Boston Public School systems, and this evening I will take you through our inaugural year. In November of 2011, the Boston Plan for Excellence, with community support from the Boston Teacher Residency and the Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative, submitted the final application for the Dudley Street Neighborhood Charter School to the state of Massachusetts for approval. And in the late winter 2012, the application was approved. Over the next few months, the staff of the Boston Plan for Excellence would begin recruiting the administration to lead the Dudley Street School and support the new administration in recruiting students and families. As a Horace Mann charter, the Dudley Street School founding administration had a great amount of flexibility in being able to hire who they wanted from where they wanted without having to address the traditional hiring models. This enabled the founding team to be cherry-picked and cultivated to maximize success for the students and school. The flexibility carried through to our choice of school day and calendar. We currently provide a 10-hour school day, starting at 7:30 a.m. with breakfast and ending at 5:30 p.m. with parent pickup from the extended day program. Our school calendar has dropped some of the district school holidays and added 5 additional professional development days for teachers and staff to ensure we are staying connected as a school team, addressing the latest needs of our school and the current trends in education. In early April of 2012, I was contacted by the newly appointed principal of the Dudley Street School, Christine Landry, to talk about the possibility of joining the founding team. Our first conversation took place when I was in Chicago for a friend's graduation. I was in the car driving to a celebration dinner, and it was pouring rain. I remember thinking, will Christine be able to hear me over the deluge of rain and the insane windshield wipers? As I sat in the car and talked with Christine, we discussed her vision for the school, my goals for improving my teaching, and wanting to move to a community of like-minded teachers. And after that first conversation, I was hooked. I was so excited about all of the new possibilities. Over the next couple of weeks, I would continue to have conversations with Christine, host a group of observers in my classroom. It was an exciting and nerve-wracking time. I wanted to join the school, but I was also very aware about how this would be one of the hardest things I would do in my professional career. To build a school means everything you can imagine and then everything you can't imagine. From the not-so-simple act of ordering lunches for 144 students to preparing for state and federal visits to ensure that you are meeting every goal that was written in the charter application. The weekend before the Dudley Street inaugural event at the Hibernian Hall in Roxbury, I was offered a position with the Dudley Street School. And of course, I accepted. I was so excited when I attended our event at Hibernian Hall. My lenses shifted from that of an excited outsider to a member of the Dudley Street founding staff. At the event, Dudley Street was overwhelmed by the amount of community organizations that wanted to be involved with our school, from providing extended learning time classes such as music and ballet classes to supporting families beyond our doors with food access, mental health care, and safe and affordable housing. It was positively breathtaking. Fast forward. In August of last year, 14 individuals came together for the first time and created the founding team of the Dudley Street Neighborhood Charter School. We had come together for so many reasons, but the one thing we had in common is that we wanted to be a part of a school community that was different and, dare I say, a little revolutionary in how we thought about education, curriculum, and our relationships with students and families. It was also at this time when the I statements diminished and the we came into fruition. This royal we became who we are, and as one of my colleagues reminded me recently, that we are a community of educators and there are no personal successes or failures because of that we. We are incredibly flexible at the Dudley Street School in the many different roles we all play to support our students' successes and that of our school. Like Christine, our principal subbing for me when I'm out of the building, or me answering the phones early in the morning, or our director of special populations pushing into classrooms to support small group instruction. Earlier, I mentioned how excited community organizations were about the opening of the Dudley Street School, but I can't talk enough about how excited the community of Dudley Street was to see our building become active with children and families. When we would leave the school in our Dudley Street Neighborhood Charter School t-shirts to get lunch, we would be greeted with lots of smiles, questions, and statements of enthusiasm for the school and us. It is an amazing feeling to see our school become the first anchor point in creating the Dudley Village campus, a dream that the Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative has envisioned for years, where there is a cluster of schools dedicated to being a part of the Dudley Street community and educating the Dudley Street community members, which is now becoming a reality as we expand. Next year, we will be adding second grade and welcoming our next class of Dudley Street Scholars. About a month and a half ago, we held the lottery for our second academic year. As you can see, we had 431 applicants for 44 kindergarten and a handful of first grade slots. This enthusiasm from families throughout the Dudley Street community and the wider Boston community tells us that we are heading in the right direction, with meeting the needs of our students and families and educating the whole child. We have done great things this year, and we will continue to improve on our successes and fix the hiccups that occurred by coming together as a community of educators and families that are invested in providing an incredible educational experience that is progressive, hands-on, and project-based. As I mentioned earlier, I teach first grade. Now, first grade is not for the faint of heart. You get little ones at the beginning of the year who are at times really like mature toddlers, and you help them grow into their childhood. I have a student named Ella who experienced a very fractured kindergarten year and a forced removal from her mother's care, and now lives with her father and paternal grandmother. When I sat down with Ella and her dad in October of 2012, and her dad, by the way, comes to every event at our school, we had to talk about her reading level. Ella was currently reading at that of an entering kindergartner, so almost a year behind most of her peers. So the three of us, me, Ella, and her dad, talked about all of the hard work that was in front of all of us and what we had to do to bring Ella up to grade level, and that we would work together. And work together we did. And when I say together, I mean the whole school. In the mornings, Ella meets with a reading buddy who also happens to be the deputy director of the Dudley Street Neighborhood Initiative, arranged by our amazing social worker. Then Ella attends a regular school day, which, remember, is 8 hours long, where she receives additional phonics and fluency support within the classroom. And then she goes home. Dad or grandma read with Ella, or now vice versa. About a month ago, when we did our most recent reading assessments, we realized that Ella has moved up 4 reading levels and is almost at the first grade end of year benchmark. This is Ella's success. We are providing her and her family with support that goes beyond the school day to ensure her success today, tomorrow, and for her future. Opening a school can at times be fun, silly, hard work, and a little chaotic. Such as when the State Department of Ed came to check on our progress as a new school. The heat in my classroom had not turned on. On that day, it finally started working, and it kind of ended the moment of sitting and teaching in coats and seeing our breath in the classroom. And instead of heat, we got heat and smoke, and which resulted, as the observer was sitting in the back of my room, in us removing all of the students, the adults, and of course the observers. There are challenges that I couldn't have imagined when I accepted this job, but of course that means there were unimaginable successes. Most recently, one of my students, Alex, who has had a very hard time in school and has suffered a lot of trauma at home, would frequently run out of the classroom out of fear of failure and lack of confidence in his ability to be a student. Last week, Alex came up to our director of special populations, our de facto special ed teacher, and said, "I'm beginning to like school." Thank you.